This has been a wonderful conference, and I want to say thank you very much to everyone who gave us from their riches. Thank you. I just would like to suggest that somehow we find a way of tapping into the many, even small projects on global awareness, climate change, the new cosmology, all of these things that are happening all over Ireland. We have a tremendous number of things happening and groups meeting, and if only we were aware of the movement that is a sea change, that isn't perceptible perhaps unless it's brought to our perception. And I'm wondering if the university could put itself to this case of gathering the information, letting us know all that has been happening over the past really 20 years in some instances, and letting us take heart from the fact that there are many groups in this land all working for climate change.
Thank you very much for that suggestion. Any other hands or suggestions? The woman in black in the back, and if I could just have you state your name and your affiliation, that would be great.
Hi everyone, my name is Selena Donnelly and I work with Trocaire. I also want to echo the comments from the lady at the front. It's been a fantastic conference, even though I may be biased, but I think it's really exceeded expectations. Since there are a few people I know have already had to leave, I'd like to reference something that Bill Kingston really helpfully highlighted as a context changer that's really facing us at the moment, which is the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership. There is a loose coalition of NGOs and civil societies from a whole range of backgrounds that are involved in a campaign on the TTIP at the moment. So as another suggested action, I would really like to encourage anyone and everyone here in this room and further afield to join us in that movement. And if you'd like to find out more about it, please come and chat to me after. Thanks.
Thank you. Do I have a hand? The gentleman over there, did you have your hand up? Yeah.
You're just asking about suggestions for things to do. Just because I'm going in about 2.5 weeks to Toronto. It's not a rival organisation to Bill McKibben's 350, but Al Gore set up the Climate Reality Project a few years ago to counter the denialists particularly. And after that, he set up a group called, involved as an offshoot of that Climate Reality Leadership Training. And he does sessions for the last few years. There were a couple of a year at different places around the world. And it's a 3-day training where he trains you on how to give a super duper presentation. And the training is free. But you pay your own accommodation and your own hotel there, and you commit to giving 10 presentations in the following year after doing the training. So I'm going to Toronto. I was meant to go 3 years ago, but my mother fell ill just before I was to go, and it turned out to be a fatal illness. And I'm finally going and looking forward to it. But there's one thing people can do if there are a lot of people here in education. I noticed that they'll be well used to standing up in front of an audience and whatever. So I know he uses the same kind of computer graphic kind of things that he used in his famous feature documentary a few years ago,
Yeah.
Inconvenient Truth. And apparently it's very good. So
Yeah.
when I come back, anybody who wants me to give a free presentation, especially around colleges, I'll be going to postgraduate college myself. So I'm quite happy.
Thanks. I'm glad you mentioned that. I did the training for Al Gore's Climate Leadership Corps a few years ago, and there's another training in September in Miami. So if you're interested, feel free. Yeah. Kira, if I could get you to hike all the way up to the top there in the back. There's the gentleman there.
Thanks. I suppose when we leave here today, I guess a very important thing for all of us to do, and I can only really speak for myself, but for all of us to do is to continue, I suppose, speaking to our, whether it's organisations, families, communities, and continue to have conversations, because I think for there's still a relatively large number of people for whom conversations about climate change and about the various other issues that we face and the implications that they have for our lives are few and far between, despite the growing movements and the great campaigning work. So I think that's just the ripple effect, continuing conversations, sometimes very difficult conversations, because I think there is a sense of denial out there, whether it's to what extent exactly that sense of denial, whether it's overt or. But I think that's a challenge maybe for all of us to.
Okay, thank you. I'll take Deirdre and then Eamon. Thanks. We have it, Deirdre down there. Deirdre down here in the corner. Yeah.
Hi, People's Climate Ireland here. So 3 things very briefly. Do join us, have a look on Facebook, People's Climate Ireland, or email us, peopleclimateireland@gmail.com. Secondly, in Ireland, we've got a great Christian tradition of Advent calendars. So we're working on an Advent calendar, so the road to and through Paris. So we can highlight if you've got a specific county project or a parish project. Tell us what it is, and let's click on a day to find your activity. And thirdly, in my personal capacity, I started a Shamrock Spring with 17 million people in Irish diaspora. It's a quest for everybody to make one green pledge or promise. Divest, change your bankers, change your electricity supplier, walk a bit more, become vegan. And secondly, craft your own shamrock. Grow it, knit it, sew it, however your own embellishment of a shamrock will be. So we have from now until March to do so. But please join our People's Climate Ireland. Thank you.
Thanks, Deirdre. And if I could just have Eamon Ryan there, please.
Thank you. Inspired by Lorna and what I think Phil had said earlier on about direct action, I think I would love to see it sometime in the coming months that we get as close to the gates of the peat-fired or coal-fired power stations in our country and say that the coal or the peat does not go through those gates in our name. The presence at the gate is where we can go.
Thanks, Eamon. And I'll take the gentleman in the back there, and then Camilla, the final question there.
John Kirby, Bishop of Clonfert. I've been very interested and enthused by much of what I heard, by nearly everything that I've heard. But there's an issue that we have to be able to address, to present to rural Ireland, many of them small farmers, with 100 acres is the average size of a farm holding in Ireland. We're not talking about factory farming. And I'm aware that, as they say, the ruminants and their contribution to the methane gas. But for many of these, it's their livelihood. And they see themselves as trying to... there was an election fought by a politician 50 or 60 years ago under the slogan, one more sow, one more cow, one more acre under the plough. And that time, that's gone, I suppose, but the ideal of developing yourself, developing your family is still a very important thing. I think we need to find a way to be able to transmit the importance of the message that we've received here into the lives of ordinary people, particularly the farming community.
Thank you very much. If we could give one to Camilla, and then I'll let Sean Healy finish with the closing comment.
Sorry, I'll just keep this really quick. I'm Camilla from Young Friends of the Earth Ireland, and I just want to reharness Alana's point yesterday about a youth forum across Ireland, and that's not just for young people. I think that's for everyone to invest in. I think, there does need to be more of a movement, and just to put it to the floor, that we're meeting Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock in the Barricade Inn, so you're welcome to come join us, check out what we're doing. We're doing lots of work on TTIP, divestment, fracking, and much more. So, and ttip.ie is a fantastic place to find out more information about that. Thanks.
Sean Healy from Social Justice Ireland. I just wanted to take up Lorna's proposal because I think it's a very, very good one, that we come back again next year and that we actually report on implementation, on action, on progress, not just on what we ourselves have done, but maybe we could also monitor the impact we're having or not having, particularly in the political structure, and particularly also maybe in the structures that are actually keeping the current system that we have heading in the wrong direction.